Hello again, Struck Pub. We're already a few days in February, and I'm not done with the upcoming games videos for games releasing this month. I've already released two for the high profile games videos and for the 3D low profile Underdog games, and this video that you're watching right now is for Underdog games but 2D. So 2D Underdogs releasing in February 2023. I've got 12 titles. It was originally 13, but one of them got its release date postponed by several months. So 12 titles. Hope you're ready. Hope you enjoy them. Hope it's informative enough, and maybe some of the games you end up playing. Buckle up and let's go. This list is in chronological order of release date, and the first game is releasing, well, it already released on the 1st of February 2023. It's a free to play title, mind you, so anyone can try it, but it has in app purchases. And considering the nature of the game, I'm a bit skeptical. I might give it a try sometime to see how bad or good the in app purchases are handled, but it is a card game. Card game inspired by Gwent. The Art of War card game by Brightdawn Entertainment. Lead one of four factions of your choice and defeat all your opponents in fierce card battles with real players from all around the world. Destroy your enemies, reinforce the power of your empire, and comprehend the art of war. So it's a non-collectible game where you can lead one of four factions and fight for dominance in fierce card battles, as I mentioned. And they did mention somewhere on Steam in the description that the game was inspired by The Witcher's Gwent game, and they wanted to make something like the old Gwent, but better. It looks fun, it looks nice. So if you're into card battlers and you need a new one, maybe check this one out. It's free after all. Next up, we have a more classic old school looking JRPG game by my favorites when it comes to those games recently, Exe Create and Chemco. Exe Create is a studio, Chemco is the publisher. Releasing on the 3rd of February 2023, so it's already out, as I can see. 10% off, 13.49 on Steam. Not that bad of a price considering the quality you normally expect from Exe Create games. A story of destiny for those with the blood of the rulers is the short plot line about the game. When Laura, a girl who has lost her memory, is being pursued by unknown soldiers, Grant enters in action to protect her, only to find out about the danger the world is in from the forces of darkness, and sets off on a journey. How can Laura use such high level magic? This is a story of destiny and encounters between those with the blood of the rulers in them. Strengthen character abilities as you desire with unique soul maps, which actually looks pretty amazing, and customize weapons to be prepared for turn-based battles. Arenas are available around the world to test your strength and tactics. Something that I normally notice with old school designed modern JRPGs is that the bad itemization, it's nothing like Stranger of Paradise where the same iron sword would have different roles, the different times you find it, and you can change those roles and affixes. So if you're fine with the basic itemization system, the game does seem to have solid story, nice pixel art. It's probably big enough to keep you busy for dozens of hours, and it has nice passive skill tree system, so that looks fun. And there's probably plenty of characters to get in your team. Next up, we have a game called Relic Dudes. Relic Dudes is an online co-op roguelite bullet hell action top-down kind of game. So think of the horde survival, reverse survival, like vampire survivors kind of type of game, but in co-op. Defeat hordes of enemies alone or with up to 4 friends. Work together or mess with them on this online multiplayer survival style roguelike where you create unique builds that can change the fate of your team. It looks fun. It definitely looks fun. You're gathering relics, getting stronger, creating builds, and synergizing your powers. And considering that there's co-op, you can synergize your power with your teammates as well on top of that and have some nice run. They're saying that there's more than 20 unique relics and growing, hordes of different types of enemies, and again, up to 4 players. If it's your kind of game, then definitely don't ignore it and maybe give it a try if the price is right. The next game on the list is interestingly named Tower Walker MMO Grind Simulator. It is a fresh, new, addictive auto grinder with rich features inspired by classic MMORPGs and RTS games with indirect control over your hero. The mysterious tower awaits. Releasing on the 8th of February 2023, developed and self published through indie game by Raptor Quo Games. So yeah, if you're into idwars, auto batwars, this one might be worth checking out. Normally those games are extremely slow progression and very grindy. And considering that it's called MMO Grind Simulator, that probably means it's going to be even more grindy than the usual idle game. But we'll see. Time will tell. There isn't much left until the release, so you might check it. It says that from the developers of Dino Nest and Boxing School comes a new fresh auto grinder idler fantasy RPG game rich with features. Create and manage your own hero, explore the huge ancient tower. This is a pure offline single player MMO grind simulator. So no competitive modes or whatever, but since it's offline, you might be able to experiment. Some people would be able to cheat if they're into that, considering that it's offline. But since there's no competitive, you want to worry about others, thankfully, because in some of those games they mess it up to the point where others can cheat and there's competitive and you can see cheaters. Thankfully, this game doesn't go that route. Over 20 classes and 5 expertise grades for weapons and armor. Loot, weapons, armor, rings, artifacts, and other powerful items. Level up your characters and learn new skills at the trainer. Defeat powerful bosses and gain infamy with enemy factions. Choose between 3 starter classes, by the way, and progress in the ancient tower. Explore the tower and discover stuff. Find and level up companions with extra buffs and combat abilities, and many, many more um, features. I think it's a fun game to people that are fans of the genre to try. The next game on this list is a HD graphics remake of one of the classic city builders, Pharaoh, A New Era. Developed by Triscale Interactive, published by Dotemu. Dotemu are the necromancers of forgotten franchises, and I love that about them. The legendary city builder returns, lead the creation of one of the greatest civilizations in world the world has ever seen in this 4K remake with modernized UI. Build monuments, manage your population through hundreds of hours of gameplay, and explore 4,000 years of history, which seems amazing in my opinion. I've really loved the original game, and I think many of you out there who are not bothered by the 2D graphics. Again, it's going to be remastered 4K 2D graphics. If you're not bothered by 2D graphics, I strongly recommend testing one of those first city builders. So they were Caesar, then Cleopatra, then Pharaoh. All of those, I grew up playing those games in PC cafes, and I really had a lot of fun and frustrating moments while trying to learn city builders when I was younger. And yeah, I definitely think this would be something to look forward to, releasing on the 15th of February 2023. The next game doesn't have much social media presence, but it seems cool. Book of Shadows. Releasing on the 15th of February 2023, developed and self-published by WJLE Game. In the 1,000 years after the battle of the Holy Demon, the Book of Shadows suddenly appeared on the mainland. It is said that people have the power to rule the country if they get it. So the major sects and organizations participated in the competition for this book. It's an action RPG with turn-based tactics. Not sure how, but I guess it's action because you're walking around the world. But then when it comes to fighting, it's turn-based tactics. So traditional JRPG, I might say, with some interesting pixelated 3D graphics. Um, so I really think this could stand out to some of the other games. If you're into that type of genre, it looks impressive. It looks fun, and I think it could find its let's say solid number of players to play it. So dozens of magic options cooperate with each other to form hundreds of tactics. Each character has unique skills and exclusive weapons which can be matched with each other. to defeat the enemies faster. Dozens of equipment, including weapons, armor, accessories. Each weapon has different grades and has different exclusive skills. So not the most basic of itemization, but still basic itemization typical to traditional JRPGs. So not like Stranger of Paradise when you can reroll the affixes and stats on a weapon, but still better than the most basic ones, I guess. The next game is a part of a series, the Braveland series games, and this one is called Knights of Braveland. It is a cooperative beat 'em up action game with a generated story. I'm not sure how to read generated story. Who generated it? You will hack, slash, and smash your way to victory, and with your friends, it is much more fun. Developed and published by Tortuga Team, a true indie self-published game, releasing on the 16th of February. Maybe this should have been before the previous title that was on the 18th. I messed up here, but yeah, there is a free demo to try for this game if you're interested. So give it a go and see whether you like it. And on the 16th of February, if you liked the game, if the price is right, I don't see a reason not to get it. 4-player co-op, over 100 different equipment, an endless adventure, hundreds of events will make each adventure one of a kind. Upgrade your castle, restore the castle's ancient host to receive bonuses before every new raid. And become a hero. Choose a peasant, an impoverished blacksmith, a simple tracker, or a rogue, and become the most famous knight of Braveland. So yeah, if it looks like you're kind of a co-op action roguelike RPG side scroller, then definitely give this game a go if the price is right. And again, try the demo; it's free. Next on the list, another interesting game that stands out from the rest of them in its own way. Other War. Releasing, it's saying coming soon. I was able to find a date in one place that says the 16th of February, but take it with the whole salt shaker of salt. Otherwise, is a surprising mashup of tower defense and bullet hell games. Build and manage fortifications to defend the gate of heaven against the hordes of hell, while soaring over the battlefields as the defender angel and meet the monsters in direct combat. Developed by the Kanto Collective and published by Hyperstrange. 2D pixel graphics tower defense strategy RPG top-down game. Many tags on it. Play in 3 main areas with their own unique monsters and levels. Use 9 different towers to fend off the onslaught of the relentless hordes of hell. Take direct control of the defender angel to manage the towers and fight the demons. Expand your skill tree by unlocking special skills and abilities affecting the gameplay. If it sounds like your kind of game, hopefully it releases soon and we can test it. Now something quite interesting. Screenplay. Movie CCG. It is a cinema-themed comedy, CCG, with simultaneous and strategic gameplay. Enter a hyper-exaggerated movie-making universe and compete against other filmmakers in creating fictional movies on the fly. 17th of February 2023 is the release date, developed by Komiku Games and True Indie self-published by Komiku Games. So trading card game with PvP. I'm not seeing anything about in-app purchases, which is good. Most likely it won't be free to play and it will be buy to play. And if there's really no in-app purchases, then I can see people enjoying this turn-based deck building card battle with movie making as the theme. And yeah, overall it looks fun, 2D graphics. And if you're looking for something new to play in the genre, well, there's another suggestion in this list, not just one, but 2 card builders, deck builders, card battlers in this list. So yeah, screenplay is super unique. The fact that it's all about movies and stuff and being a filmmaker sets it out from any other card battler I've seen. How that translates on the board, how that translates in battles. Based on the trailer, it doesn't seem like it's that different from other card battles in terms of how the battle works, but maybe the effects and the results of the battle, that's maybe what would be different. I guess time will tell. There's not much until the 17th of February when it releases, so we'll know soon. The next game on the list is not the full game. Well, it is a full game, but not releasing in February. And the prologue, though, the demo version, the trial, is releasing on the 18th of February. And the game is called Star Survivor, and that's the prologue. Whereas the full game is set to release sometime in quarter one, but that could be just a placeholder date, but Q1 2023. Developed by Space Owl Games, published by Space Owl Games and Erabit. The vast ship against the endless. Exterminate as many as you can and gather points to upgrade your ship from a crafted deck of equipment and power-ups. Will your choices be enough to overcome the thousands hunting you? Survive the sword in this roguelite, pardon me, plus survivors, plus asteroids, and so on. So there's new path-based campaign. Build your deck as you go. That's in the prologue. So this is free prologue, as I mentioned, with new weapons, ships, and campaign mode. New endless mode. See how far you can go for the top score. New scout ship with special invulnerability shield while boosting, and 3 new weapons with upgrades. Um, so you're slaughtering a bunch of endless with overpowered weapons. You have a massive selection of stuff on your deck to deck out your ship with. And there is an interesting path, roguelite style path in the campaign adventure mode. Choose your path wisely and build your ship as you conquer each sector on your way to slay the endless queens. Seems fun, seems good. Since this is a prologue, it's most likely gonna be free to try before the game comes out. So 18th of February, give it a try if it excites you. Next up, we have another comedy game to a certain degree. Voltaire the Vegan Vampire, an action farming roguelite full of whimsical flora and mischievous creatures. Dracula's last born, Voltaire, has decided to swap human flesh for plant flesh to satisfy his dark cravings. But be careful, going vegan is not for the faint of heart. Developed by Digitality Games, published by Freedom Games, releasing on the 27th of February 2023 on Steam, Epic, and GOG. As an early access title, there is a downloadable free demo on Steam that I recommend testing if the game looks like something you might like. Regarding features, farm during the day with magical seeds to cultivate crops and provide Voltaire with sweet nourishment in his quest to become the world's first vegan vampire. Expand the farm and territory to conquer numerous biomes on Voltaire's path to a chlorophyll-based power. Be wary once a night begins to fall. Dracula will send his minions to ruin Voltaire's crops and make him return to a proper red-blooded diet. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in the game. You're defending the crops, obviously. You're overcoming Dracula's power and inheriting his reign through much greener means. And you're evolving into higher vampiric forms thanks to that dietary plan filled with many new abilities. You complete bounties for Uncle Frank and Stein. So Uncle's Frankenstein, interesting, while defending Transylvania's mythical creatures and reaping the rewards to continue sowing. Yeah, overall, I think it's a fun little game that might be a hidden hit of the month. And last but not least in the video, we have an interestingly named game, Dungeons of Ether, which apparently is kind of like a spin-off set in the same universe as Rivals of Ether, which is a competitive game. Whereas Dungeons of Ether is more of a single-player turn-based combat RPG roguelite strategy RPG roguelite game. So a little bit about the game. Delve into Dungeons of Ether, a turn-based dungeon crawler set in the Realms of Ether universe. Control 4 new heroes as they uncover the mysteries of the Jewsville caverns in story mode and test your mettle in the grueling challenge dungeons. So the combat in Dungeons Theater uses a dice draft system that ensures each battle is unique while challenging the player to adapt the pool of dice each turn. Use fortune to your favor to defeat your foes, collect treasures, and shift the odds in your favor. It introduces four exciting new heroes to the world of Ether, each with their own unique skills and memorable personalities, which are Fleet, Hamir, Slate, and Artemis. Fleet seems to have a bow, Hamir is dual hammers, Slate seems to have a falchion saber kind of weapon, and Artemis is a two-handed berserker kind of guy with a big massive axe. So this is story mode. There is challenging dungeons. The challenge dungeons are for those looking for true roguelike difficulty. It's where you will want to test your skills. Each challenge dungeon is randomly generated with unique rules and starting equipment. Your mission is to go through all of the biomes in the game in a single run. Where a story mode gives you a chance to casually prepare, interact with NPCs, and savor the exploration of the world, in challenge dungeons it's all up to you. The challenge dungeons also feature a leaderboard based on how much gold you have at the end of the run. Will you spend the gold to make sure you can get through, or are you greedy? That's interesting. Developed by Dan Fornes and Ampers and Bear, published by Dan Fornes and releasing on the 28th of February 2023. To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer want to be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye.